supermarkets, restaurants, hotels, and bars. Place your orders now on telephone 501-4087 or 644-8999. With fresh seafood daily, Dave's offers custom cuts of your choice: snapper, trout, banga, gillback, shrimp, crab, and more. Order today. Dave's, Guyana's largest exporter to the USA.
Finger licking good, yeah, yeah. Got me in the mood for sharing. Come and join the party at KFC. Get a single sandwich, I take a bite. It's the best flavor, best vibes. Get a bucket with your friends, pass it to the left, and have the best time of your life. Finger licking good, yeah, yeah. Got me in the mood for sharing. Come and join the party at KFC, at KFC.
Plywood, and all types of molding. Orders can be cut to any specification and delivered to your worksite. With over 25 years of experience in the lumber industry, we are determined to provide a quality lumber that meets our home builders and contractors' every need. Builders Lumberyard and you will always be a winning combination. Visit our main office at 12 Lombard and Deroy Street or our branch office at 66 Ben Street, Georgetown, or telephone 225-9530 227-0904.
Igloo Premium Ice Cream. Not all good things must come to an end.
Good evening and welcome to another program of the Sean Devers Sports Watch. It's Tuesday night here in Guyana, July the 7th, 2026. And it's cold and wet on the outside, but we're warm and nice in the studio here. On this program, we talk about the World Cup football with TTFA Vice President Colin Murray and Guyanese-born US-based journalist Orin Davidson. He's presently in the United States of America, and we were expecting on the program Guyanese journalist and football administrator Raul Tony. This program comes to you with the compliments of Dave's West Indian Imports, KFC, Sterling Products Limited, Namalco, Builders Lumberyard, and Survival Supermarket. Good evening, everybody. Well, let's talk in the news tonight. I'll tell you a little bit about cricket. West Indies Sri Lanka 2-test series ended in a 1-0 to the host, and after the second test ended in a draw today in Antigua. Set 301 to win in 2 sessions. West Indies managed to get 109 without losing a wicket. King and Campbell both scoring 51 each. The West Indies shift their attention now to the one-day series when they take on New Zealand, set for Saturday at Providence on the lights. The first match, as I said, is on Saturday from 2 p.m. Then the second one-day is on Monday, and the third is on next week, Thursday. All matches start at 2:30. Day-night matches and are at Providence. The last 2 matches are set for Barbados on July 19th and 21. Well, today, the FIFA World Cup matches. Argentina beat Egypt by 3-2 at the Atlanta Stadium in the USA. Romario 79th minute, Messi 83rd minute, and Fernandes 93 plus 3 minutes scored for Argentina, while Abraham and Zalaiko scored in the 15th and 67th minute, respectively, to get the 2 goals for Egypt. Messi took his World Cup tally this year to 8 goals. He's now in front, and in all from 6 tournaments, he's got now 21 goals. Colombia also just lost on penalty kicks to Switzerland. They lost 4-3. So that's the news on cricket and football. Today's cricket and today's football tonight. We welcome Orin Davidson. I'm not seeing Colin Murray as yet. So, good evening, Orin. How are you doing?
Hello, Sean. We are experiencing some unusual rainfall right now, but otherwise things are good. The summer heat is on, and of course, you always want that kind of relief from the freezing cold that you normally experience most of the year here. But we're all enjoying the World Cup. There are about let me see, about 8 games being played in the New York, New Jersey area. So the craze is on. Everyone seems to be so impacted by what's going on in the other cities, and also here in New York as well, where the competition is being staged. So yeah, we expect a grand finale. We are like close to the 2/3 vicinity in the competition. So we see how it's going to play out eventually.
All right. Well, we in Guyana are getting
Sean.
thunderstorms and
Evening.
rains. Hello?
Sean,
Yes,
good
Colin?
evening, Sean.
Yeah, Colin.
Yeah,
How are you
I'm
doing?
getting a little trouble with my video, but I hope you're hearing me loud and clear.
Yeah, I'm hearing you loud and clear, Colin.
Okay.
All right. I was asking Orin, he's in America, about the tournament there. How you're seeing the tournament from Trinidad and Tobago? Trinidad and Tobago, of course, the only Caribbean country, English-speaking Caribbean country, apart from Jamaica, that entered the World Cup finals, that qualified for the World Cup finals, but that was since 1996. What is the TTFA doing to develop and get Trinidad back at that stage?
All right. Well, it was actually in 2006
Yeah,
when we went to
2006. Yeah.
when we went to Germany, and what an experience. I think it spoiled a lot of Trinidad and Tobago football fans thinking that every 4 years we would qualify. Unfortunately, that has not happened. This year we had, or should I say last year, we had a wonderful opportunity. We were based in what people, a lot of the pundits felt was the easiest of the groups, with Bermuda, Jamaica, Curacao, and ourselves. And unfortunately, Curacao, surprisingly, you have to say, because you would have put Jamaica maybe as the favorites, than ourselves. But no one really thought about Curacao. But give them credit. They were very, very plucky. We drew with them twice. We drew with them here, and we drew with them in Curacao. And just the last game needing 1 point, they were able to hold Jamaica should I say, at the office. So I think that at the end they deserve to be in the World Cup, and then that goalless draw they had with Ecuador. I mean, it announced Curacao to the footballing world. But it was a disappointment for us. I mean, we felt, we had just brought in Dwight York as the coach together with Russell Latapy. And, the plan was there, the plan was in place. He got a few new players introduced into the team. You could see him all along. We went to the Gold Cup, but you could see him sort of, I don't want, I'll use the word experimenting, but I would prefer to say, well, giving new players opportunities during the course of leading up to the qualifying games. But unfortunately, it didn't work out. I think we missed, to be honest, an out-and-out striker. Levi Garcia, who's easily our best player, was in that position. But Levi is a better player wide, taking on the wing backs, cutting inside, getting the ball across. And I think that's where we missed the goal scorer to put the ball away. But I mean, since then we've started new plans. We have a new coach in place, Derek King, not very experienced, but he's been an assistant coach to Dwight, to Stephen Hart, to Dennis Lawrence. So he's been around a while, and he's been tutored pretty well. Still a young man. But he's learning the trade, so we've opted to go with him, see what's happening. We had some warm-up games, but none of our top players played in the warm-up game. So it was no surprise we lost to South Korea, we lost to Russia, we lost to Bolivia. But I think it was always on the cards because none of our top players made themselves available. So he was also playing a lot of experimenting teams, but you can't experiment against the South Korea, who's preparing for a World Cup, and Russia, who wants to get back into the thick of things. So it didn't go very well, but you know what? We have some good plans going forward, and hopefully we can announce ourselves back before the nations final start, and we can find ourselves with some good results.
All right. As our Orin said, it's little bit of rain falling in America. Well, not every part of America. Some parts, especially in New York, and we've got some thunderstorms here. And the one day international between West Indies and New Zealand is set for Providence on Saturday. We hope that the rain subside. Anyway, Orin, what are your thoughts on Mr. Donald Trump, President Trump, respectively, talking to Infantino,
Gianni Infantino, yeah.
Yeah, the head of the FIFA. He says it's his friend, and so he told him, and he got the striker Balogun back after he was suspended. That's not political intervention. That is frowned on by FIFA.
Well, if you know Donald Trump, he's the type of guy who always feels that he can get whatever he wants. But in this case, he intervened. I don't know if he actually did intervene. He said he intervened, but the ruling body out here, the United States Association Federation, they said, well, they actually made an appeal,
After seeing the
and
replay.
yeah, they said they appealed the decision.
Okay.
And suddenly you heard Trump came in and said, well, look, he called personal and he asked FIFA, I guess, Infantino to, review the decision, et cetera, et cetera. So as far as I'm concerned, I don't know which is the actual correct story, but what we do know is that the red card suspension has been put on hold. Galogun was allowed to play, and the rest is history. But Trump is the type of guy who we all know, very unconventional, very odious at times, and he's not a very well-liked person because of his behavior in unconventional, unlawful. But in my personal opinion, though, I think the foul on Balogun was well, the penalty for the foul was unjustified. I don't think it was a red card decision. It was accidental. And he himself, the referee, didn't even
Call
rule at
it.
the time.
Yeah. And when we
A
looked at it on
foul.
TV,
Once
we
I
saw
record a
exactly
red
what
card,
we
you went
saw.
to VAR,
And when you
and when you
slow down
see,
something, frame by frame, it
right,
looks worse than it is.
yeah, it looks more magnified. And, I mean, that's not how things were done in the past in football. The referees rule as they saw it on the field. But this VAR intervention, or the technology that they use to make decisions, has created lots of controversy, not just for fouls, but the offside rulings and that kind of thing. But like I said, I personally don't think it warranted a red card and a subsequent suspension. And as a fan of the game, I always like to see the best players in action. And I was happy that Galogun actually got to play. I think he's a very talented player. He has lots of skills. He can score from inside the box, from outside the box. And, even though his re-inclusion didn't really help the US, they were soundly beaten by Belgium. But I think he has a great future. He's a talented player. And basically, I think the US team was found out in terms of its depth. Coming up against Belgium, a top ranked, I think they're top 10 in the world rankings. It would have been their hardest game. And their playmaker, Pulisic, he had a very ordinary performance. Quite in contrast to the very first game that the US played when they beat Paraguay 4-2.
Yeah,
He
especially
was
the
very
first
instrumental
half.
in breaking down the
Yeah.
Paraguayan defense from the left side. He set up Balogun on both occasions that he scored. And I don't know if the injury that he had in that said game, when he was substituted at halftime, impacted his subsequent performances, because he was far from his best as far as I'm concerned in the remaining matches that he played. More so again in this crucial round of 32, round 16 battle with Belgium. And the fact that he wasn't performing, creating the goal-making opportunities, showcased the fact that the U.S. was shallow in terms of strength in all areas, not just creation in midfield, but striking as well, and in the defense. And it so happened that they just weren't good enough coming up against the very confident and very fluent Belgian team.
Do you think that first game against Paraguay made the Americans, I saw it, some of the media entities also, begin to get unrealistic expectations of the team, even though they've topped the group?
Yeah. People were so gaggled over the team. You listen to some of the interviews of some of the fans. You all felt that America would have won it all, based on that performance and subsequent ones in the group play competition. But reality is reality. They didn't have the depth in all areas in their setup. So they were exposed and they just weren't good enough against Belgium.
And I know you can't speak for Canada and Mexico, but how disappointing is it? No host country progressed to the next round or the quarterfinals. And what was
But
the
it really
mood
shouldn't be a
in
surprise,
England?
because these three countries never even came close to ever winning a World Cup at any time in the past. America, for the best they've gone is the same round of 16. I think Mexico made it to the quarterfinal some time ago. And Canada, worse yet,
Yeah.
the first time they made it this far, So expectations were unrealistic as far as I'm concerned about them. Even coming close to winning the competition, even though the games are staged in these three countries. So it
Do
was
you,
very unrealistic.
yeah, do you think this is gonna put a wane on the crowd? I know people have already bought tickets, but no home team is involved. So how would that impact the turnout?
No, well, tickets have already been bought. I
Yeah, but
mean,
people
you
don't
buy the
go.
tickets in advance, you know. So it wouldn't make much of a difference. There are lots and lots of fans here in all three countries. Of course, Mexico and Canada, they don't have. I don't think they have any more matches. I know for Mexico for sure. I'm not too
No,
sure
not no, but
there are any more in
none
Canada.
have matches.
Right. So I don't think it will put a dent in the crowd response. I mean, even if the locals don't go, I mean, I don't even know. The tickets probably are all sold out
Yes,
at this point in time.
yes.
So it wouldn't make the situation worse than it is in terms of
And they
spectator
got a lot
fee.
of followers coming in from the respective countries to support their teams.
Yeah, but that's the norm. That's the norm in
Yeah,
all World Cup,
so that would
major
be,
international competitions.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's a situation we're waiting quite eagerly to see if France can turn the tables on Argentina from based on the results of the last World Cup in Qatar.
But we gotta
You
wait.
know,
We gotta wait. We gotta wait until a lot of matches play before we get to that stage. I know that
yeah, even though
you're predicting that France and
Argentina look a
Argentina
bit
will reach in the
shaky,
finals.
this time around, yeah. I
Okay.
mean, that barely scraped by the unheralded Cape Verde, and today had to come from behind to beat another unheralded Egyptian team. They look a bit shaky, but you never know. They come from a tradition of very high quality football there in Argentina. So you don't really want to rule them out, but it is what it is. We're gonna see they're in a
And
separate
the
halves of the draw, so
superstar
they're
Messi is being compared to the guy with the golden arm, the golden hand. Um,
Yeah, of
yeah,
course, yeah.
Maradona. Um, Colin, do you think that the technology used in most sports now, it's used in cricket, they got the DRS, and in football, that's good or bad for the sport? You take out the human element of it.
Must be good. I really have no problems with it. I think the VR that has come in has look. At the end of the day, you still got humans controlling that. But the technology aspect has to be good for the game. I mean, we talk about when goal line technology came in, everybody was saying, well, what difference that will be? Well, that's made a heap of a lot of difference with a ball not totally over the line. You talk about the offside, for example. Now, there's a lot of complaints about the offside. People are talking about a toenail and basic things like that. I think Arsene Wenger has made a very interesting suggestion to FIFA. Well, Arsene Wenger is the football guru in FIFA, and he's made a suggestion where the offside, you should be at least a body length ahead of the defender, so that if you're just your foot is ahead of the defender and you score, if he has his way going forward, that will be deemed a goal. So there's a lot of little things still to be adjusted with the technology, but still it's good for the game. I heard Orin talking about the decision to red card Balogun, the American striker. You know, they had the technology, they slowed it down. You know, and I agree with him. I don't think it was that much of a red card. You know, I thought it was he went for the ball. I don't think that he meant to go as high maybe on the guy's calf as he did. So you know, in occasions like that, you would think that the technology could be better used and say, okay, let's really look back at this, slow it down, do all sorts of things. But I think that the problem there was that is where the foul occurred, where his foot went, rather than the intention or not. You know, that to me was more the problem. But I agree. I don't think that, for example, was a red. And we see little instances where VAR, you use the technology, and you wonder, you saying, hey, how could guys be looking back at a screen and making some of those decisions? It's crazy, you know. But what do you say? Do you hope that they get it right? Because you can't tell me that guys looking at a screen could make some of the wrong decisions. Thankfully, I haven't seen very much in this World Cup where VAR has made, you know, decisions that were totally terrible. You know, at least I can't recall any in you know, looking back at it. But you know, there's no doubt technology is good for the game. You know, it would help. It helps the referees. It helps you know. For example, a new one that they've introduced, which where if you give a goal kick and it's a goal kick, but it's a corner, they don't go with it. However, if you give if it's a corner, right? And the referee says it's goal kick, they then say, okay, no, that's a corner. I don't think they do it the other way around, which is strange. I would think, you know, if you have the technology and the ball comes off of a striker and they award a corner, and you look at the VAR and VAR intervenes, say, hey, that's a goal kick. It should be done the other way as well. Because if a ball goes off of a defender and you say goal kick, VAR intervenes and say, no, that's a corner, and they do give a corner. So, you know, I don't understand why it's not working both ways. But again, you know, you have the technology, use it. And that's my biggest thing with it. You know, it must be good for the game once it's used properly.
Well, let's tell you who is going to be playing in the quarterfinals. On Thursday, France will play Morocco. That's France, that's Orange team. Hope Morocco don't upset them. Friday, Spain will play Belgium. And Saturday, two big matches. Norway playing England in Miami. And Argentina playing Switzerland, who just qualified by way of penalties 4-3. So Colombia, they will be playing on Saturday also. Those are the quarterfinal matches. So we've got the quarterfinal matches. But let's go for a short commercial break. And when we come back, we'll recap the last 3 days of World Cup football.
Looking for quality lumber for your dream home or an upcoming project? Then make Builders Lumberyard your premier provider. We provide a full selection of rough and dress lumber, such as Green Heart, Purple Heart, Kabakali, all types of mixed hardwood, Silver Bali, Ditarma, and many other species. We also stock clean and knotted pine doors in various sizes. squallable posts, farm boards, plywood, and all types of molding. Orders can be cut to any specification and delivered to your worksite. With over 25 years of experience in the lumber industry, we are determined to provide a quality lumber that meets our home builders and contractors' every need. Builders Lumberyard and you will always be a winning combination. Visit our main office at 12 Lombard and Deroy Street or our branch office at 66 Ben Street, Georgetown, or telephone 225-9530 227-0904.
Igloo Premium Ice Cream. Not all good things must come to an end.
Finger licking good, yeah, yeah. Got me in the mood for sharing. Come and join the party at KFC. Get a zinger sandwich, I take a bite. It's the best flavor, best vibes. Get a bucket with your friends, pass it to the left. And have the best time of your life. Finger licking good, yeah, yeah. Got me in the mood for sharing. Come and join the party at KFC, at KFC.
Yeah, well, welcome back to the Sean Devers Sports Watch. Just about a minute after the hour of 8 o'clock on a wet and windy Tuesday night here in downtown Georgetown. Let's look at Sunday's matches. Let's start with the last match first. Mexico lost to England 3-2. There were a lot of talk about the aesthetic stadium, the high altitude, and all of these things. There were commentators who said that they were players when they had to go to that particular venue and they had to have oxygen tanks on the sideline, and then after they trained and for 15 minutes they had to go and take air and all of that. That didn't look so bad in the actual match. They lost 3-2 to England. Quintones scored in the 42nd minute and Mendes scored in the 69th. But that was it for Mexico. Bellingham scored in 2 minutes, 2 goals in 2 minutes, 36th and 38th, and then the great Harry Kane scored a penalty to seal the issue. At halftime it was 2-1. How do you guys dissect that game? Did the high altitude cause a major problem for the English team? You
Of
first.
course not. I don't think so. I mean, the guys, they were going full tilt. You could see from gong to gong, and this England team, though, I think this team is a different team compared to the ones of the past. I think this coach that they have, the German guy, he has made a big difference in the way he seems to be motivating the players. He's very passionate. You can see him on the lines exhorting the players, and he has a very good track record actually in club competition of success. And I think he is the main difference between this England team and the ones in the past, which I think had a problem of mental toughness, getting ahead in games and only flattering to deceive in the final stages. I remember what World Cup was. I remember it was like several years ago when Michael Owen, they were playing Argentina, I think, and Michael Owen scored a beautiful goal, and England were way ahead, and suddenly they broke down, coming down to the bottom, and it happened so many times before and after that. Their mental toughness was exposed, and they flattered to deceive, as the saying goes. But this team is more steely. You could see the way how they come to the fore in the final stages. Harry Kane, those two goals he scored against the Congo team at crunch time. That tells you that Harry Kane is right up there in the terms of his ability to perform under extreme pressure. Subsequently, in Mexico as well, the mass crowds there at the Azteca, the conditions, everything is against them. And he set up Bellingham, who scored a beautiful brace, 2 goals. And, they produce in crunch time. And I think this coach has a whole lot to do with their improved performance. And I'm quite certain they will put away Switzerland coming up in the semifinal and make their way.
They got to play Norway.
I should say
They got to
quarters,
play
not the
Norway in
semis,
Miami.
quarters, and go on to the semifinals. Yeah.
So you think it's a foregone conclusion they'll hammer Norway?
It's not a foregone
But because
conclusion, but I
Norway
think they'll
played
get
good football so far.
Yeah, Norway's pretty good. Very surprising. I mean, they've come leaps and bounds. They've done the best that they ever had in World Cup competition in this
And they
specific
knocked out
competition.
Brazil, my team.
Right. Yeah, well, Brazil, that's a different story. I mean,
We get to that
that's
soon.
that,
Yeah.
that's a subject for a later discussion. But yeah, I think they will get by Norway. The British, they've proven to me that they could perform in tough situations, pull out the stops. So, but it's left to be seen. But that's only my opinion.
Colin, your opinion on the game and if
Well,
they were affected by the high altitude at all?
no, they won't. I think the English players, they're accustomed to that. They're accustomed to the pressure. They're accustomed to playing in high altitude when they have to. I don't think that was a factor at all. I think they prepared themselves well for it. However, I am not as convinced as Oren in terms of them going through in a canter. This Norway team is a very, very, very dangerous team. And their coach, as we talk about coaches, and I accept the fact that Tuchel, he brings an exuberance to the English team that Gareth Southgate didn't really have. You can see the way they play, the enthusiasm. It's a different team mentally. My question to England basically is when teams and play a low block, in other words, when teams defend well against them, I don't think they have the creativity to open up defenses. And their play really is to get the ball to Bellingham, get the ball to Kane, and hope for the best. That's my view. You have decent wingers if they play Saka or they play Gordon or Rashford. But, I am just not too convinced by England in terms of their creativity. And I tell you what, a better team than Mexico would have beaten them. I mean, Mexico lived literally the last 20 minutes in the English defensive third and couldn't break them down. They got a penalty, but that was it. Any team better than Mexico, I think, would have won that game. You looked at the tactics of England, what they did. They were playing with 10 and they were defending with 9, and just it was really like backs and forwards. And I thought in the end, I thought at some stage Mexico must equalize, but you know, I was very disappointed with that Mexican performance. And from a CONCACAF perspective, you were hoping that they would have done much
Yeah.
better. But it just shows that CONCACAF, the teams in CONCACAF, have a way to go to get up to the rest of the world.
And we saw that with the US and the
Oh,
game
for
that they
sure.
lost Belgium. They were totally
Yeah.
outclassed. Let's go
Totally.
now to Brazil. They lost to the same team that you're talking about, 2-1. Halal scored for Norway in the 79th and 90th minute. Neymar, who's had a few minutes in this World Cup, he came out and scored a penalty. That was the one goal that Brazil scored. What do you think of that game? Because after after they scored the goal, Norway had a tight defense. They didn't give up any other thing. Another question: How was it that Bruno was missed the penalty, and he should have gone? He should have took the shot instead of Vini Junior, because his coach was with him at Real Madrid for years, and he knew Vini. So why would he choose Bruno instead of Vini to take the penalty, which he missed?
Yeah, well, that is. I mean, that is one of many decisions that I find incomprehensible from the Brazilian coach. Now, this guy,
Asiento.
yeah, he has a sound reputation for being exemplary, but I found it so perplexing. First and foremost, his selection of players for this Brazilian team. I mean, he selected, among others, an aging
Neymar?
what's his name? Yeah.
Casemiro.
No, not Casemiro. I'm talking about for the squad. What's his? We just talked about him. Let's score the penalty. Neymar, yeah.
Yeah, Neymar.
He selected aging Neymar.
Yeah, he's 34 though.
Yeah, he's aging.
Ronaldo is 41, Messi 39.
Those are special guys. Ronaldo.
Neymar,
You don't think that
those are
Neymar
special
is a
talent.
special guy?
Oren, a fit 34-year-old Neymar must be an asset. But the problem was he didn't seem to be 100% fit, and that's why he was coming on in the latter stages of a game.
Yeah, but
And that, if you tell me that, maybe he shouldn't have picked him in the first place if he was not fit. But don't tell me at 34 he's an old man. Neymar.
Well, I didn't get to finish my statement on aging and out of form Neymar, who hasn't played international soccer for so damn long. So why would you pick him? Now, and you left behind the guy Pedro, who's been scoring goals almost at will there in England in the Premier League. You selected the 19-year-old Hendrick, who, when I first saw him come on, he looked out of his depth. And I couldn't understand why he continued bringing Hendrick on. And lo and behold, he missed that very, should I say, straightforward goal. He had only the goalkeeper to beat there against in the loss there to Switzerland, and that could have sealed things. But those are some of the decisions I can't understand Ancelotti making. For an experienced man, and those kinds of decisions, and the type of strategy he used for that Norway game, holding and counter-attacking. That's not Brazilian football. Brazilians naturally they go and they attack from
You
ball
think
one.
that he tried to make Norway play, Brazil play Real Madrid system, the Spanish league system?
Well, I'm not too much into franchise football, so I don't know what his specialities in terms of strategy, styles, etc., etc. Ancelotti. But you got to allow the Caribbean guys to play, or the Latin Americans, the guys from this part of that, from
Yeah,
that
to
part of
play
the world.
free.
The sun is on their
Flamboyant.
backs.
They play
Natural
flamboyant
ability,
football.
yeah. And I couldn't understand his way of doing it. And in my opinion, what his performance was as the coach, Ancelotti, is grounds for firing. You know, and what we're gonna see what's gonna happen. He didn't, but he hasn't had a lot of time with the team. But still, for a man of his experience, I can't understand his team selection first and foremost. And when you look at the composition of the team, Vinicius Jr., by far the most dangerous of his goal scorers up there up front. Now, I couldn't understand why for that he couldn't have made a change against Norway by bringing Vinicius to play in the middle, as the number 9, and give the team a better chance of scoring. But
And he
I mean,
more
that's
than
only my
anybody
opinion.
else knows
Miles and
Junior
thousands of
because he
miles
was
away.
his coach at Real Madrid for 4 years.
Yeah, but still, I mean, you got to think, you got to make instantaneous decisions and see how the games are going. And if things not going your way, make adjustments. And in my opinion, Vinny should have been the man in the middle there, scoring. He had the most goals for the team in the competition, so why not gamble on that? And the diabolical non-picking of Vinny to shoot that penalty is something still you can't swallow, coming from an experienced Ancelotti, So all in all, I think he would have been one of the main contributors to them being knocked out at this early stage of the competition.
Colin, most teams, when their home team loses, they put on a Brazil shirt. Well, Guyana's never been in the World Cup, and I've always backed Brazil because they were our neighbors. But Brazil didn't play to the standard of past Brazilian players. When I was 1992 and so on, they were good with Zico and all of these guys. But what did you think Brazil did wrong in this World Cup? Colin.
Listen, Brazil, they're not a great team. I mean, you just said that. You just said they didn't look like an old Brazil team. They're not a great team. I went across to New York for the Brazil-Morocco game and for the France-Senegal game. And for the first 20 minutes of the Brazil-Morocco game, Brazil never touched the ball. Okay? They went a goal behind, and then it was Vinny who, and again, I want to say, the mistake I thought he made, but I'm not at practice, so maybe Bruno Guimaraes was kicking the penalties how we wanted them at practice. I was surprised when I saw him go up to take the penalty. I thought he might have given it to Vinny. However, Vinny has been so deadly wide. He's been being, every time Vinny picks up that ball and there's a one-on-one, Vinny goes past the man, whether on the outside, whether on the inside. And what they've been doing since the first game, they've been double teaming him. Once Vinny picks up that ball, it's two defenders only coming at him. And the man has so much skill. He's going in between them and the outside of them. He is really a superb player. And he's the man. He's the man. What I thought the mistake was that they took off Cunha. And I thought that was, and to bring on the young boy, Endrich, I thought that was a little bit of a strange move. Cunha has the experience. I would have left him in the middle, feed Vinny the ball, let Vinny go wide. Vinny scored all his goals coming from a wide position, and they just were not able to. Once he got that ball, there was nobody. There was nobody for him to give the ball to, because they were closing him down. When he did get through and he was squaring the ball back, Endrich is a young, inexperienced player, and I thought that was what was lacking for Brazil. But make no mistake, Brazil has not played well in this World Cup. Again, their mental thing is give Vinny the ball and let's hope he scores. And that's what has been happening for Brazil.
And there
You
was
know,
no fit and proper Neymar. Rafael has lost his
no,
standard. And so,
Rafina,
yeah,
yeah,
they didn't show up.
no, they didn't. And at the end of the day, I'm not surprised that Norway beat them. Norway had a plan, and it worked to perfection. And give Norway credit.
All right, let's look at Monday now. Portugal versus Spain. Um, Ronaldo's club. Ronaldo's 4-1. And he must have been picked because he's never won a World Cup and he was looking for his first World Cup. He's got a big battle with Messi going on since they were in Barcelona and Real Madrid. But that game. How do you look at that game? Morano scored the only goal in the 90th minute for Spain.
Well, Spain has always been a country tradition rich for quality football, but I'm kind of disappointed in what I'm seeing so far. I mean, all this talk about the Yamal, what he can do, and how much promise he has, but I haven't seen any examples of that type of talent exploding on the scene. And of course, they haven't been scored upon, and that tells you a lot. You can win titles with poor defenses, and well, I mean, I like the style of play, the tiki taka, very very pleasing as far as I'm concerned. But so far the goal scoring ability hasn't arisen from Spain. So we'll see if they will pick things up in the quarters coming up
Yeah, Friday they
and
play Belgium.
provide the competition
Do you
with
think they will beat
even more
Belgium?
added spark than what we've seen so far. Goals galore. I think this competition has the most goals that have been scored in terms of records. Even though, of course, we all know there are no more games this year than any other time
Yeah,
before we did.
48 teams
46,
and
yeah.
3 host
So,
venues, the first ever.
so let's hope that Spain picks it up as.
So do you think they will beat Belgium on Friday?
That's a tough one. I mean, as far as I see it, this is an open competition. Any one of these teams can win. And the teams that perform best, I meant to say, on the day would triumph, in my opinion, because I mean, France, everyone has France up there at the top, but I'm not too sure. I see how they struggled against Paraguay. Paraguay used the strategy of violence, attacking them, fouling, and all of that. And I think the other teams probably would learn from that display out there and apply the same methods when they come up against France. But as it is, they are the slight favorites for me to win the title. Of course, Argentina coming from behind today, having 2 close shaves against unheralded teams, like I said before. So I wouldn't put them up there if they come up against France at any time. Even Belgium, they were so very impressive against America. They have that strength on the bench, yeah, it makes a very interesting last few rounds of matches. So we hopefully the expectations will bear fruit in terms of exciting high quality games coming up, the quarters and then the semis and the eventual final.
Colin, what do you think that Portugal did wrong in that game when they lost 1-0?
Well, let me first say that Portugal-Spain game was a poor game. It was diabolical for 2 teams with the quality and attacking quality that they both have. It was disappointing. And then to finish 1-0, it looked all the way that we are going, let's draw, and they would go to penalty kicks. But Marino came up with that goal
In the 90th minute, yeah.
and right, and that was it. Spain walked off there 1-0.
Do it.
I don't know if both teams were sort of canceling out each other and playing a little bit ultra defensive. And you never saw that attacking. You look at a Portugal team with Bruno Fernandes, with Bernardo Silva, with Cristiano Ronaldo, real attacking players. And they were just knocking the ball side to side, and they were never putting Spain under pressure. And outside of Yamal, who got the ball, when he got the ball, he was trying to run at the Portugal defenders. Other than that, everybody was just playing this ball square and back, and hoping for some opening. But you can't expect an opening if you don't put the defenders under pressure and create something. But neither team, and for when you talk of Spain and Portugal, you expect goals. You expected that game to finish 3-2, or something like that. But it never lived up to that expectation. And Portugal were very, in my estimation, they were very, very poor. Even the one game that they excelled, they beat Uzbekistan 5-0. Other than that, Portugal was a shadow of the names that they put in the lineup. They drew goalless with Colombia. Again, a game that never really. Colombia, I thought, were unlucky not to win that game against Portugal. Portugal, again, very defensive. Colombia put them under pressure, had some chances with Luis Diaz. But again, Portugal never looked. And I am disappointed with Portugal, because I thought that they would have been getting into the quarterfinals at least. But firstly, I thought they would have won the group. So avoid Spain, but they never did. Colombia won the group because Portugal, they drew their first game I'm just thinking that they came out in their very first game, and they drew their first game with DR Congo. No, come on, Portugal. You just put the team list down, or the two teams, and you don't expect Portugal to draw with DR Congo. But that was to tell you how poorly they started. And then never, outside of that Uzbekistan win 5-0, Portugal were poor.
So, do you think because of Ronaldo's repetition, he's 41, as we said, he's in his sixth World Cup, 11 goals in all. Because of his repetition, the coach was apprehensive to take him off more?
Oh, no doubt about it, no doubt. But in fairness to Ronaldo, outside of that game where they won 5-0 and he scored 2 goals, the service, I thought, to him was poor. He never got the kind of service he got. Yes, I'm not saying he got 1 or 2 opportunities, he missed them, but I think the coach, he took him off in one of the games.
Yeah.
I can't remember which one. That they came back and they won in extra time. They were, in my view, they were a little lucky to win that game, and he was substituted. But I suppose the thing with the guys like Ronaldo, if they just get one opportunity,
Yeah.
one good
They'll make
opportunity,
magic.
they could put the ball in the back of the net. So you're always apprehensive to take off, even though he's 41 years old. You're very apprehensive to take him off.
All right. Well, we already spoke about the US-Belgium game. They were totally outplayed. Belgium, 1 goal alone was scored by US, 4 by Belgium. Let's go now to today. Today we saw Argentina. That's another Orange favorite teams. They beat Egypt 3-2. So, what do you think of that game? Messi scored one of the goals. He scored in the 83rd minute, I think, and now he's gone to the 8 goals, the most in this World Cup. But this is a high-scoring World Cup in terms of goals, and the race for the Golden Boot is very technical and what the word I got to use?
Tight. It's
Yes,
tight.
tight. Yeah, and he's 39. But this is the 6th World Cup. He scored 21 goals already in World Cups. And how do you think about this game today? You, Forrest
Well,
Collins.
the game, very exciting. very thrilling, full of drama. Another scare, the famous, much talked about that Argentina had to come from behind. No, I didn't get a chance to see the full game. I just saw the highlights, and Messi. Once again, missed a penalty, the second penalty he's missed in the competition so far. He's been getting so many opportunities to score goals. And of course, he has the record for playing the most minutes, the most matches in
Everything
World
he's
Cup
got.
history. So he got a lot of opportunities to score what he has. But I do think, though, that in terms of crisis, I don't think Messi is mentally supremely tough enough to to be considered the greatest of all time. Now, I can go on and on about Pele and the speed of success, which, in my opinion, that's how you measure greatness, the speed of success. Pele just had about how many? 14 games, 12 goals, etc. Mbappe, he 19 and 19. And, Messi, he's been playing for so long and he had so many opportunities to write his name in the books, as far as I'm concerned, as the GOAT, but I don't
Would
think
you
he is
rate
pulled off as
Messi?
much as he could have, you know. And he coming up against he had the Cape Verde. He had another opportunity there to win the game. He had just the goalkeeper to beat. He was denied. And I remember back in the 2014 final against Germany, he had a similar opportunity to beat only the goalkeeper to beat, and he hit the ball over the bar. So I mean, he's a very prolific, very skillful player, but in my opinion, he doesn't qualify to be that good that everyone is trumping him up to be.
Yeah, but he's
And
got
I
all the
saw that
accolades in the
example here
world.
today. I saw that example, another example. I mean, he did well. He scored one and he assisted in another. But these are not the very best teams in the world. I mean, Egypt, Cape Verde. We'll see how he will perform, though. Of course, they have another, should I say, a soft semifinal, Switzerland, and we'll see how things play out.
Would you say that he's better or worse or the same standard of his countryman, the great Maradona?
I think Maradona is more impactful in terms of making the players around him better, very skillful. I mean, he doesn't have as many goals as Messi, but I think Maradona is the man who, based on his dint of his performance out on the field on the said day, I understand too that when he went to Napoli in the Italian league, when he joined that team, they were the bottom of the rankings, and he, based on his contributions, they won the title the very next
We can
year.
say the same about Messi. When he joined, first of all, he had a hormone treatment problem when he was young, and Barcelona happened to treat him and fix him, and he spent 20 years there. And that was the same. Barcelona was not doing well when he joined.
Yeah, but I think we have to rate the performances in the World Cups, which I think is the most difficult competition to play based on the pressure that these players face playing for the country.
But
And
Messi won a World Cup in
you,
2022.
yeah, but look how long it took him.
Yeah.
It took him 5 World Cups to win one title. You know what I mean?
But,
So
but
I think
Ronaldo
the
never won
mental
any.
strength that you need to possess to succeed and win World Cup titles is one of the primary requisites to determine greatness in the sport. So he hasn't lived up to expectations as far as I'm concerned.
Okay,
And
so
so I
you
can't
would
put him
put
there. I can't put him there as the
Ronaldo
GOAT.
ahead of Messi,
In terms of what?
all-round footballer.
Ronaldo?
Yeah.
Nah.
Okay. So what would you rate him after Pele and after Maradona third?
Who, Messi?
Yeah. Or
I even have Mbappe ahead of him right now, to
Mbappe.
tell you honest.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Mbappe is just 27, and he'll go on to play at maybe 2 more World Cups and he'll score
Yeah, but he's right there with
50
him in
goals.
goal in the
Yeah,
World Cup. He's just two behind.
yeah,
And he's played how many World Cups? This is his third World Cup. He already has a title. He has a hat trick
yeah.
in the final. So he's right up there.
Colin, what are your thoughts on the rating of the players? Because let's look at this World Cup. The Golden Boot. The race, as you said, is tight. Messi 8, Mbappe 7, Holland 7, and Harry Kane 6. All of these players are playing further. The team is not being knocked out. So they've got the ability to add to those goals. How do you rate Messi in all-time greats?
Let me say that I think Messi's a brilliant player. The goal he took firstly, the cross he made to get Romero first goal. Was you couldn't want. It was on a plate basically for Romero to put it into the back of the net, which he did, and then the layoff. That ball was laid off to him. It was bouncing, coming to him just at the edge of the box. For him to control that shot and put it in the roof of the net, you could tell the brilliance of the man. There's no doubt in my mind that you have to consider Messi as one of the greats of all times. I do not rate him ahead of Pele. I think for me, there was only one Pele, and there will always be only one Pele, and then Maradona. In my opinion, you're not going to get, unless somebody in my lifetime comes along, and it's not Messi, to get better than those two names I called. Well, that's fine. Messi, though, is, in my book, right, he's just behind them. I hear you with Mbappe. I think we just need to see Mbappe. He's still young. He's 27. I want to see what more will Mbappe contribute over the next 5 years in world football for me to put him up there. Yes, he is certainly challenging Messi. Again, I don't think he's reached where Pele and Maradona are, but he's certainly up there at the moment.
Better than Ronaldo?
Oh yeah. Ronaldo is not. I wouldn't put Ronaldo in those four guys class at all. What the difference with those guys and Ronaldo? Ronaldo is more of a goal scorer. In his younger days, Ronaldo would pick up the ball wide, cut inside, and score. In the last few years, what he's been doing, he's really been in the box. He's been pivoting in the box, going left, going right, waiting for the balls to come across and putting them away.
And you think that style is because of maturity or age?
Maybe because of age and that type of thing. But you look at Mbappe, you look at Messi, they're picking up the ball outside the box and they're taking on defenders. They're taking on defenders, slipping it to a teammate, looking for 1-2s, and then taking shots from outside the box. You're not seeing Ronaldo doing that. He's not going to go outside the box, pick up a ball, take on defenders, and look to shoot. So he's laying off the ball, heading into the box and saying, okay, give me now, either cross ball, either along the ground, and that's his modus operandi now. I remember him a little younger when he played for Manchester United and he played for Portugal. He was a little bit different, where he would be taking on defenders and shooting from out. We all know he had a deadly shot, but we're not seeing that of Ronaldo now. He's more in the box, as I said, moving around, looking for the balls coming into the box. Whereas Mbappe and you're seeing the goals these guys scoring. I think Oren mentioned Paraguay. Paraguay, they went to play for a draw. There's no doubt. When I say a draw, they were hoping to go to extra time, maybe tire the France team out. The tactics was dirty. I thought the referee. It's astounded me that 3 French players were booked and not one Paraguay player was booked. That was, I saw Mbappe get an elbow, for example, went to the ground, and the referee I can't remember if he gave a foul, so their tactics will obviously stop France from playing. And by the way, I also think France is the best playing team at the moment, the way they're knocking the ball. Argentina what I like about Argentina going forward, they look dangerous. What I'm concerned with, and when you think about it, they've conceded 4 goals in the last 2 games, is their defense. They've got a super goalkeeper in Martinez, but defensively, I'm a little concerned with their wing backs. I'm a little concerned with Romero and Martinez in the central defensive positions.
And Colin, two of those goals was against a country with with just a little more than 5,000 people, Cape Verde, and they lost 3-2. But would you say that was the best team performance with a team that lost?
Yeah, they played. There's no doubt. I thought they played extremely well. Again, it's a little bit, when you look back on the teams that have lost, you look at Senegal, who were leading 2-0 with about 5 minutes to go. You looked at Cape Verde, where they came from to come back into the game. And you just have to think, maybe they were a little bit naive, when they should have really locked up shop and say, hey, what? I going to hope for penalty kicks here. The main thing is we're not going to allow Argentina to score again. And their goalkeeper is a super guy. I would have trusted him for penalties.
But the same Cape Verde team
naive.
played
Sorry?
3 teams. The same Cape Verde played 3 teams, beat 3 teams that won World Cups previously.
Yeah, they drew with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they didn't lose.
You're going to give them credit. No, they didn't lose. They came into the round of 32 unbeaten. And I can't remember there was a team who did that many years ago. So you've got to give these guys credit. And I think 2 of the games they drew goalless. So defensively they've been pretty good. And I thought when the euphoria when they got back 2-2 to Argentina, I thought the euphoria of that, they got carried away a little bit.
I believe so too. The celebration was much too long. People lose focus. The youngster that scored the goal, he was all over the place. He jumped into the stands. It's like as if he had won the World Cup.
It was won the World Cup for them. They never reached so far and played so well.
But let's face fact, Sean.
Yeah.
Would you have even thought?
I wouldn't even thought they would have gotten out of the first round.
Huh?
No, I didn't even think they would have.
Exactly. Everybody said, well, Argentina get them 3 or 4 or something like that. So I think that's the euphoria. I think they just lost concentration. But give Argentina credit, even today, Egypt were playing very well. I thought, you looked at Egypt; they were solid at the back. They were controlling the game. But this Argentina team, once they get going, I tell you, they're a very, very difficult team to stop.
Collins, what will you think about that foul that negated the second time that Egypt put the ball into the net for goal? You think that foul was justified?
Well, it's interesting. That is very interesting because it happened in the defensive third of Egypt, and they went back to that, right? They went back to that, yeah. And now the thing is, a goal was scored, so the VAR could say, listen, the goal was scored, but there was an infringement which you missed early on. Go have a look at it. So, again, we talk about technology. If an infringement, a bona fide infringement was missed by the referee and VAR could point it out to him because it led to a goal, then honestly, I don't have a problem. Of course, Egypt will feel very hard done by because they would have gone 2 up. And then they scored later on again. They would have been 3 up, and that would have been curtains. But I hear what you say. But the rule is there. If there's an infringement that leads to a goal, VAR could point it out to the referee. Whether
the actual infringement.
I thought it was soft. It was soft. I thought it was soft.
That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah. It was soft. I thought Martinez went down looking for the foul.
And we see so many.
Not calling you, Sean, but you get that impression that these officials seem to be favoring Argentina. I don't know because
I was not going to make that point.
People trumping him up as the greatest of all time, and everybody wants to see Messi play from start to finish, go to the final and win another World Cup title. Now look at that that same identical foul that he had on the Algerian that was not called, wasn't penalized, no nothing. And similarly, when Balogun did commit a similar type of foul, he got a red card,
Suspended.
suspended, and Messi escaped scot-free. You know, and
But
today again,
Oren, what
the
do
thing is
you
going
think?
on.
What is your opinion though, of the refereeing on the whole? I don't think the refereeing on the whole is very
It's
good.
very, very,
I
very
think
inconsistent. Very, very.
exactly. It's inconsistent. I think a lot of the refereeing decisions, you hold your head and you say, "What was that?" You know. So I mean, I'm not surprised. Let me put it like that. I mean, yes, it seems they're favoring Argentina, and maybe they are, but I do. I just think the refereeing is very inconsistent.
And we spoke about these Minos teams, if you want to call them that, um, getting very competitive matches. And what do you think when it was announced that 48 teams and three host venues would have been implemented for this year's World Cup? You first, Orin, because you're one of the host countries.
Oh well, I wasn't in favor of that. I mean, I think it's diluting the qualification process, making it easier
But we
for
saw
countries.
some of the teams that we have never seen put up good fights.
But no, but come to think of it, I don't know where I mean, I didn't do my research in terms of Cape Verde. How high up in the African championship did they finish to qualify? I am not too sure. Colin, you probably you more into this. You might be able to remember if there were number 3, 4, 5, or whatever of the teams to qualify from Africa. But you see, I mean, I get the impression based on what I see from their performances here in the finals that they've done pretty well in that African championships to qualify. But generally, like I said, I mean, it's making it a little too easy
For
for
teams to
teams to
qualify.
qualify. I mean, of course, I know it's all about the money. Infantino, that's all he seems to be
Yeah.
thinking of. I mean, having the World Cup
Trump's
here in the
best friend.
United States, the price gouging, and everything else to go with it, being influenced by Donald Trump, left, right, and center. I mean, it doesn't give a good look to FIFA. Of course, crowned it all by Trump's assertion that he played a role in getting the red card suspended on Balogun. But yeah, I'm not a fan of this expansion to 48 teams. I just think that for a country to say that, look, I qualified for the World Cup, you must go through that 32 team qualification process to really be proud and say, well, look, I'm here at the World Cup. I mean, Jamaica did it, was it 1988, Trinidad to 2006, where you could say they really and truly justify themselves as a World Cup final qualifiers
So how
from
many
CONCACAF.
teams we've got to get for Guyana to qualify?
Well, I
62?
mean, maybe out of that, I
62?
mean, but I would be very happy if Guyana could qualify from a 32 team competition. That will make me very proud more than qualifying from a 48 team lineup. That's how I
Well,
see it.
I'm sure that next World Cup would be less teams. I got a feeling that
I don't
they
know,
would
Colin. Is
recut
this
them to less
written in
teams.
stone that there'll be 48 teams for the for the rest of the time and in the World Cup finals?
No,
No, it's not. But I don't think, honestly, I don't think they're going to reduce it because of the success of this
the
tournament.
Minos teams,
You
yeah.
know, yeah, I don't
Of
think
course,
they.
they
I
made
mean,
much more money from ticket sales and
exactly,
everything
and not
Yeah.
only that, the crowds.
division.
I mean, all the stadiums have been sold out. So I don't think they're going to reduce it. I think they're going to go with. I've actually heard, and I hope to God it's not true, that they're thinking of actually increasing the
Oh, wow.
numbers. But that would be ridiculous because then you're going to have the tournament go run for what, 2 months? No,
Exactly.
but I don't think that this 48 team thing has been a success. The crowds have come out. They've made record attendances. More goals.
More
Then you've
financially
got
than anything. The success was more
sorry.
financially.
Yeah. Well, of course, but no, not only that, Sean. You look at the stadium, or even Cape Verde playing whoever.
Yeah.
The stadium is packed out. You won't see many empty seats. So it's a situation where I doubt very much that they're going to go back to 32 teams. unless, of course, the various member associations say they don't want it. But then FIFA is going to say, well, if you don't want it, don't play. I'm sure they're going to do that. But I doubt they're going to revert back to 32.
All right, let's go for our last commercial break. Well, our second to last commercial break. And then when we come back, we'll get your predictions of who is going to be in the semifinals.
Dave's West Indian Imports is a wholesaler of all types of seafood with their own processing plant. Dave supplies supermarkets, restaurants, hotels, and bars. Place your orders now on telephone 501-4087 or 644-8999. With fresh seafood daily, Dave's offers custom cuts of your choice: snapper, trout, banger, gillback, shrimp, crab, and more. Order today. Dave's, Guyana's largest exporter to the USA.
Surprise your family today with a nice vanilla flavored cake made with Maid Marian cake flour. It's perfect for the birthday, anniversary, special occasion, or just celebrating the joy of having your family together. So get a pack or two of Maid Marian cake flour to make that moist, fluffy, vanilla flavored sponge cake, donut shaped cakes, Swiss rolls, and other delicious baked goods. Bring on the smiles with Maid Marian cake flour. Made and packaged not by hand by Nomilco, the National Milling Company of Guyana.
National Milling Company of Guyana.
Craving a meal that's big on flavor but doesn't break the bank? KFC has got you covered with the KFC 3-piece meal deal. Get 3 pieces of chicken, fries, mac and cheese, a biscuit, and a drink. All for just $2,200. It's the perfect deal, available every day. Enjoy your 3-piece meal deal at KFC today. KFC, it's finger licking good.
Looking for quality lumber for your dream home or an upcoming project? Then make Builders Lumberyard your premier provider. We provide a full selection of rough and dress lumber, such as Green Heart, Purple Heart, Kabakali, all types of mixed hardwood, Silver Bali, Ditarma, and many other species. We also stock clean and knotted pine doors in various sizes, Qualable posts, farm boards, plywood, and all types of molding. Orders can be cut to any specification and delivered to your worksite. With over 25 years of experience in the lumber industry, we are determined to provide a quality lumber that meets our home builders and contractors' every need. Builders Lumberyard and you will always be a winning combination. Visit our main office at 12 Lombard and Deroy Street or our branch office at 66 Ben Street, Georgetown, or telephone 225-9530 227-0904.
goodness. Available at Igloo outlets and all your favorite shops.
Well, good evening. Welcome back to the last segment of the Sean Devers Sports Watch. This is where we predict who is going to be in the semi-finals. We get into the finals as yet because there's still the quarterfinals and then the semi-finals. My four, I think that, of course, I think that Norway would beat England in Miami. France would beat Morocco. Spain would beat Belgium, and Argentina would beat Switzerland. So my four is Spain, Argentina, France, and England. I would have loved to see Brazil in that because of sentimental reasons, as I said, but they've already been knocked out by Norway. So look at the teams now. Who are the main players for my four? Yamal, Rodriguez, Pedrigue for Spain. Argentina, of course, the King Messi. The two Martinez. The goalkeeper, Emilio, that is his name. He's a good goalkeeper. And, of course, Alvarez. And, of course, France, Mbappe, Dembele, Olise, and Barakada. England, of course, Kane, Bellingham, Saka, and Rice. But we could see a situation where Mbappe plays against Messi if France reach the final, which many predict they will, including Orin, against Argentina. They played together in some league. They had three strikers, Messi, Mbappe, and one other guy. They were the three strikers in some league, some team they played. Colin, you could remember which team the three of them played for?
PSG. That's the
Yeah,
only thing I can
PSG,
think.
yes.
PSG.
Yeah, so Mbappe was a youngster when he
That's
played,
right.
yes. And Messi played with him, mentored him, and now they're going to be playing, hopefully, in the finals of the World Cup. Hopefully, Messi's going to win and win 2 World Cups. What are your predictions? Starting with you, Oren, and why?
Well, as I see it, France will get by Morocco. I have Belgium to beat Spain. England to get by Norway, as I said prior. And Argentina to beat Switzerland. Now, France, you look at the team play, I see they seem to be more balanced in terms of offense and defense than the other teams around. They have so much depth, Mbappe, Dembele for France, Olise, and that's a dangerous trio. And you have so many coming off the bench as well. So and defense, pretty strong based on what I've seen so far. So I will say they're the most balanced of the lot. Argentina, if they get to the final,
No, you're saying if.
Yeah, if they get to the final, right? I think Messi is he will be a spent force by then. He has been working so tremendously hard in all of these matches. I mean, he played the full quarter today, and the previous game, Cape Verde, they went extra time. At 39 years old, I don't think he'll have enough in the tank to put out the works out there. And like I said before, I don't trust his mental toughness in these very, very tight situations. So I don't see them winning this competition, retaining the title. England, as I said, I see them getting by Norway. Like I said, Tuchel has been doing a tremendous job with this team. Very, very powerful motivator. And the guy seems to be responding the right way at the right time. Bellingham, Kane, Saka, Declan Rice. I mean, I haven't seen a better corner kick taken in Rice in this competition so far. He seems to be so accurate. He has the right pace. He puts the correct amount of top spin on those corner kicks. Set piece situations can be vital for England going through to the final. And Belgium, I was so impressed by what they did yesterday. And that's why I see them getting by Spain and going to the last four.
Well, your semi-finals teams are one different from mine. I've got Spain instead of Belgium. Colin, who are your semi-finalists?
Let me say, these are so difficult games. Morocco is playing excellent, but France, I mean, to me, France is the best playing team going forward.
Yeah.
And with Olise, Mbappe, Dembele, and Bakola up front, that's a deadly foursome. But Morocco, make no mistake, they're well organized at the back, and the two wing backs, Mazorari and Hakimi, they go forward. When they join the attack, Morocco is a good playing team, and they should not be underestimated. But I think France will have just a little too much power for them, but it's going to be a tight game. Spain, Belgium. So again, I like Belgium, how they're playing. Imagine they didn't play Doku, he came on, and they didn't start De Bruyne at all in the game. And to me, Doku and De Bruyne are the best players, but they're a good team. There's no doubt about it. Tielemans in the middle is creating. So if Doku starts, he is going to cause real problems for the Spanish defenders. And somehow, based on the last game, I mean, Spain is so dangerous though. Excuse me, Spain is so dangerous. But I think I'm going to give Belgium the edge.
So
the other two,
you don't think Yamal and Rodri and those guys will perform on the big stage?
They will. There's
but
no
they will
doubt
still
about
lose.
it. But I think Belgium gonna have a little bit too much for them. And Belgium they're oozing with confidence now, coming from that 3-2 victory against Senegal and then beating USA 4-1. They're on a high. They're very much on a high, and I think they're gonna just edge Spain.
Then before that, they had a 5-1 win over New Zealand, so they're
that's right.
Yeah.
So but I'm going to give them the edge. I am giving Norway the edge against England simply because of two men, Haaland and Odegaard. What I like about the Norway team, the goalkeeper is absolutely brilliant. I like how they're well organized at the back. They break quickly. They tend to go wide to get those cross balls coming into Haaland. And there's no better goal poacher in world football today than Erling Haaland. As we saw, he outjumped. All of a sudden, the ball came across. He got in front of Gabriel, we all know Gabriel is a brilliant defender. He got in front of him, put away the header. And then out of nothing, from just outside the box, he curled one away from Alisson, another brilliant goal. So I am going to give them the edge just because of those two guys. Somehow they will have to tie down Haaland, and they will have to close down Odegaard in the midfield. Maybe that is where Declan Rice can come in and close him down, because he is the playmaker, Odegaard, for Norway. But I just see Norway, they're brimming with confidence, and Haaland is scoring brilliant goals. So I'm going to give Norway the edge there. And of course, Argentina against Switzerland were poor. They won, and they're going to, I have no doubt they're going to come out against Argentina very defensive. They're going to play a low block. Xhaka is going to play a defensive midfielder, and they're going to look to counter Brazil and hit them on the counter.
Do you think Messi will reach 10 goals against Switzerland?
Sorry?
Do you think Messi will reach 10 goals against Switzerland in all?
I have no doubt about it. Absolutely no doubt. He is full of confidence. He's scoring. He knows this is his finale. He knows, hey, this is his last showpiece, and I have no doubt that he's going to be right up there looking for goals, creating goals. And who knows? He could very well go up to 10 goals at the end of the game, because I have no doubt they're going to beat Switzerland unless, as I say, Switzerland play with a totally defensive and try to hit them on the counter, which will make sense, because they can't go toe to toe with Argentina, and you look at them attacking wise, they don't offer very much, eh? Even though I think they won one of the games. When you look at the results were 2-1 and 1-0 and that sort of thing. But I don't think they have the strike power to worry Argentina, even though Argentina defensively are not playing well.
All right, so Saturday night, we'll know who will be in the semifinals. As I said, my 4 picks for the semifinals are Spain, Argentina, France, and England. Oren has Belgium instead of Spain, and you have 2 teams different from all of us. Thank you for being on the show. It's been a very good show. We actually ran out of time. And on behalf of Oren Davison, the Guyanese Stabrook News editor, sports editor, who's now in America and watching the game, and I'm sure feeling a little down that his adopted nation hasn't won, and Colin Murray, who is not only the vice president, he's a football. You ever played football for Trinidad, Colin?
Not for Trinidad, but I've played at secondary schools level. I've played for Trinidad and Tobago at secondary schools level, and I played first division football.
Yes, Reds asked me to ask you that. Yeah, Reds, Pereira. I know that you played cricket. You played for the West Indies on the 19 team. You actually captained the West Indies on the 19 team. And so on behalf of Oren and Colin, I'm Sean Devers. On behalf of my technical man too, he's been superb. He's been doing a fabulous job. Mendonza. So I'm saying now, if you can't be good, then be careful.
Now Milko has done it again. We've listened to you, and now available nationwide. Another convenient size packaging of Thunderbolt all-purpose flour. It's here, the 5 kg or 11 pounds new packaging of Thunderbolt all-purpose flour. Now available at your nearest supermarket.
National Milling Company of Guyana.
For more than 3 decades, Dave's West Indian Imports has been supplying the demands of Guyanese living in the USA with their favorite Guyanese products: Pomeroon coconut water, fresh fish, shrimp and crab, champion chow mein, icy sodas, golden cream, margarine, wiri wiri pepper, katahar, and kajrib, just to name a few. If you have family from Trinidad and Tobago and Jamaica, Dave's has them covered too. 9807 97th Avenue, Ozone Park, New York, only 5 minutes away from Liberty Avenue. 11808 Liberty Avenue, Richmond Hill, New York. 7505 New Hampshire Avenue, Tacoma Park, Maryland. The Caribbean market. Dave's West Indian Imports, supplying the best of the Caribbean to the USA.
Finger licking good, yeah, yeah. Got me in the mood for sharing. Come and join the party at KFC. Get a zinger sandwich, I take a bite. It's the best flavor, best vibes. Get a bucket with your friends, pass it to the left, and have the best time of your life. Finger licking good, yeah, yeah. Got me in the mood for sharing. Come and join the party at KFC, at KFC.
Igloo Premium Ice Cream. Not all good things must come to an end.
Specially formulated with super cleaning, grease fighting power. Mighty Foam dishwashing liquid works hard to get your dishes spotless and is gentle on your hands. Available nationwide.
Looking for quality lumber for your dream home or an upcoming project? Then make Builders Lumberyard your premier provider. We provide a full selection of rough and dress lumber, such as Green Heart, Purple Heart, Kabakali, all types of mixed hardwood, Silver Bali, Ditarma, and many other species. We also stock clean and knotted pine doors in various sizes, Qualable posts, farm boards, plywood, and all types of molding. Orders can be cut to any specification and delivered to your worksite. With over 25 years of experience in the lumber industry, we are determined to provide a quality lumber that meets our home builders and contractors' every need. Builders Lumberyard and you will always be a winning combination. Visit our main office at 12 Lombard and Deroy Street or our branch office at 66 Ben Street, Georgetown, or telephone 225-9530 227-0904.